So,
All right, everyone. Welcome to Motivation Sunday night. Woohoo! Y'all
hello
excited?
and hello.
Hello, hello, hello. All right. We're not going to talk a lot about him because there's a lot of negativity floating around Fetterman and the fact that he might not be with us anymore. And I don't wish that on anybody. Just because I don't agree with somebody politically means that I don't wish them any harm at all. So, good wishes for him. I hope he recovers. He's still a young man. He's upper 50s. I mean, he's not much older than me. So yeah, we don't. Man, my phone just told me I'm live on YouTube. So, woohoo!
40-second delay.
Yeah. so, so we'll get started here. Make sure down in the links below, if you need some boxes, there's a discount on Supply Hut. Code Bearded will save you 5%. Man, they ship fast. Great boxes. I'll be shipping tomorrow, and 90% of the boxes I use, except for the free eBays on eBay, will be those guys. So can't recommend them enough. There's the courses down there if you want to learn retail arbitrage, and what else is down there? You need a repricer. Ours about to redo everything, so get in and learn it, and then learn it again. You'll have a discount while you do it. And hit the thumbs up. This is going to be a great show. Pineapple juice. I don't need a safe word yet. Have you seen that? I know you've seen that TikTok of the guy. He's being chased around by bounty hunters or whatever. Talking about his safe word is pineapple juice. So
The dude's crazy.
Jacob King, did you get this? I'll throw it over here if anybody wants to join us. Glad to see that Dave and his bong. Anybody wants to talk about motivation? So I was listening to a podcast, and it kind of, thought this would be good for us to talk about. Whose was it? It was Graham Cochran? Is that who it was? I'm looking for it right now. I should have actually written this down. Yeah, it was Graham Cochran. So he does one a week. I like him a lot, and he and a guest were talking about the seven characteristics of CEOs, and they did all these. I don't know who came up with the list, but they did a comprehensive list of characteristics that CEOs had, and so I know which seven they talked about because I had to make notes. So the good thing I want to tell you is everything that these guys and ladies, because it would be men and women, do, you can incorporate in your life. You can learn, and you can get benefit just like they do. So that's why I thought it was important to just talk about these things, because it's not the general, it's not the yeah, John, there's a link in the chat if you want to join us too. It's just not the, because let me clue you in on a little secret. You guys, whether it's reselling or whatever business opportunities you're doing, for the most part, you're going to be your own CEO. You're the one who does the high level thinking. I mean, especially, in a case like me, it's me running this whole show. So somebody's got to do the low level thinking and the high level thinking. So let's get started with the first one. I actually made notes. See, look.
Whoa.
The one thing I love is I can type it on the computer and it shows up on my phone. The notes.
You took those notes, not Chat GPT?
No, not Chat GPT. Not nothing. It was the habits. So the first one, and so each one of these I'll tell you I do a little bit of, and some I struggle with. And so I'm working on, because one of the things I've told you guys is I'm trying this year to do things different. I'm trying to work on me and change and do things better. The Rona got you, man. Sorry about that, John. Hope you get to feeling better. The Rona also got John and got Ron. So my buddy Ron Harbor. So if you're the praying type, remember Ron in your prayers. Ron's had a couple transplants. he's an outstanding human being, one of the nicest people that I know, and he is struggling mightily that he can't take too many medicines because of the transplants, and so I think he's about to actually be checked into a hospital because of COVID. So if you can remember him as well, when you've had so much stuff done, I'll tell you the same thing about Joni. You just it ran through here, and I got over it pretty quick, and it took her like 3 times as long just because of everything she's been through. So habit number 1, let's get into. So if you didn't look at the thumbnail, first of all, I had a word wrong, spelled wrong for a while, but it's fixed. All these things are in the picture. You just didn't know the little white little pictures were all around me. You just didn't know what these 7 things. So the first one, there's a sunshine on there. It's get up early. So most of your highly successful CEOs and overachievers like that get up early. And so they have a morning routine. They get up early. And so what's important about getting up early? That's a time. Remember, if you get up at say 5 a.m., I've been trying just to get up at 6, and it's been tough. I've been making it. I think I've been getting up about 6:30. It's the time. Not many people else are up. If they're up, they're getting kids ready. They're going, but they're not blowing up your phone. They're not messaging. For the most part, it's a time that you can work on yourself. Time where you can do meditation. All right, Tactical Z, it's good seeing you, buddy. You can work on yourself. That alone time that you need. Plan a day. Maybe work on one of these other things in the list that's about to come up that a lot of people like to do the first thing in the morning. Get your body, get your mind ready. It's a time that you can. There's no traffic either here, right? But it's a routine. Is the morning? I think the routine is the most important. Doing the same thing over and over to set a baseline for the day. It's because you're going fishing, David, your whole life. Jarvis said he's up and early in the mornings, but but so that's the first thing. So I have been trying my best to get up early. And somebody must have told Franklin, because he's been waking me up early. I'm like, 3 o'clock this morning, Franklin, it's not time for you to eat. Go back to sleep. I'm like, oh my goodness. But so the routine, just think about starting your day right, starting your day. How do you set your mind? How do you calm yourself and get prepared? Because every day is going to be tough. We're so busy now and so much information's at us, and this is not like days gone by. I see all these TikToks of the 80s and miss that time, because if you wanted to disappear, you just go outside. There weren't no cell phones. It was the time before pagers. Parents said curfew is the street lights. So you can go off and in your own imagination or carrying on with friends or doing whatever, and couldn't nobody track you down. If you were getting a car and just, that used to be when I first started driving and you just wanted somewhere to think in some long time, you can get in the car and go for a drive. Yeah. That was it. Nobody bothered you. So now, morning sometime, and a lot of people say, but I'm a night owl. You can retrain the way you do things. You can get used to what you get. You might prefer one or the other, but you can get used to that. So just consider an getting up early. And if you can't do that, consider a morning routine, something that you do the same every day. The same. I'm gonna get up at this time. I'm gonna have breakfast here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. So people actually talk to each other. You're 100% correct. So number 2, and so I've started this one already, and so far this is the one I have not failed at yet. The average CEO, Mr. King, what's up, buddy?
Good evening.
So the average CEO reads 60 books a year. 60 books a year.
That's a lot of books.
So for those of you who are keeping score, there are 52 weeks in a year.
Yes.
That's more than one book a week. And I'm old. If I sit down to read something, I'll fall asleep in a recliner or a chair. So So tonight I'm signing up for Audible. I'll be in the car tomorrow. I'm going to take advantage. I've been talking about this. Last week I read a book, but I actually got it on YouTube. Someone suggested a book that I read, and I actually did that. They're like, this person knows me. We'll talk about. Okay, you got to promise me you're gonna read it. You're gonna. I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. I wonder who. I don't. I'm not gonna tell you who that is, but he's like right down there somewhere. So I have a lot to think about. A lot of just that book was very interesting. So I asked on Wednesday for suggestions for books. I got a book. I've got a list of like 12 books now. So tomorrow I will start Dan Martell's Buyback Time. He is a software engineer. He was actually on a podcast I listened to last week with Graham Cochran. So that was no other reason for. I was just interested in what he had to say. So I'm going to start there. But so find a way to. So what does reading do? If you're a CEO, if you're someone who's wanting to develop yourself, what does reading do? It expands and expands your reach and opens your mind up to new ideas. It's one of the things I like to talk about a lot is, it's good to watch other resellers. It's good to talk to other resellers and figure out what they do, but you can never copy them because you can't be them. It's the same thing with reading a book and ideas. You can't be Dan Martell and do his exactly right, but you can glean ideas from him and understand, man, that's a pretty good idea. How does that work in my life? And so the more ideas and the more open you are in these kind of things, you become a much more well-rounded person. I'm still in keto, so I don't want to be that round, but the more versatile you are, the to help shape you are and how you think and open to different ideas. You could be amazed what one idea could be worth to you in your business. It could, I look forward to, because I have struggled with, hiring a VA and that kind of stuff and doing a lot of the mundane. So listening to Dan talk about his book, there's a formula in there somewhere that it's going to talk about, how to decide which task you should, I think he said pawn off on other people, because he will give you a straightforward formula based on the amount of money you generate, what your time is worth, and then it'll give you'll be able to look at. He said something like that, like doing a time audit, and then all the activities you do, figure out what each one of those activities cost you and which one of them you don't need to be doing anymore. So it's I look forward to at least hearing about it again, just so it's a very realistic approach to, because how do you decide? Because my interest could be different. Somebody else could love the accounting and is very good at it and could work right through it. And I'm the first one to go, I got an accounting degree, but man, Jared's the greatest. I enjoy not doing the accounting. I enjoy, it's a lot of the same stuff. You can, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. How much time do you spend tracking your mileage as a reseller? And you have an app that could do it for $55 a year, and it will set it up. And every month, Jared wants to know how many miles that I drive this month. I send him a report. It takes me like 4 clicks to tell it to send me my monthly report, and then I forward it to him, or I actually drop it in his portal. But it's so it's, what do you need to be doing? What do you, a lot of people are eBay sellers. How much time do you spend tracking all this stuff and trying to invent your own spreadsheets and all this stuff? There's a link down there to eBay accounting. You'd be amazed if everything comes to you in a report every month. The time you will save, importing in your spending on from cards and tying banks together. It's amazing the automation that can save you. So Jacob is a big automation person that I know. And
automate, eliminate, and delegate.
Dylan, who is one of the co-founders of Aura, is the other one. That dude is crazy about if he can get a computer or figure out automation, a way to do something so it comes off his plate, he's the biggest proponent of anybody I've ever talked to in my days. And these are, this is not an example. This is not an accident. These are young folks. Us old people are still put stuff on notepads and sticky notes. But these young people are automation and using these telephones and everything else, smartphones, are using way more to their advantage than what we do. So, that's why I finally gave up the Ghost, even though I love my Android phones. I have everything else Apple. It makes no sense to fight it when there's not too terribly much of a difference. The iPhone, the notes are here on my phone for this week's show and for last Wednesday's show, because as I was making notes, I was typing them on one of my MacBooks, and it all goes to every one of these computers. It's so much easier. Hey, good evening, Victoria. Man, you're up late for somebody who has a show at like 6:30 my time. So, read, get up early and read. So the next one, okay, so this is one I've struggled with. Yeah, Mr. Sadie, you ain't gonna qualify as a young person. I hate to be the one to tell you. Larry, you're on the other side of me. So exercise. They exercise consistently. And so what they figured out, anybody in the chat got an idea of why it would be important to exercise consistently? So that's one thing I know Jacob does. How you exercise, 3 or 4 times a week?
At least 3.
At least 3, because I'll be on the phone with you, and you'll be driving up to a gym. You're like, all right, I gotta go, because you either work out with somebody or have a trainer, one of the two.
Right now I work out with somebody. Two different people that I work out with. So I work out on Sundays. Usually I work so Sunday afternoons. I work out with one person, then I work out with another person. Usually on Mondays and Wednesdays. So the one thing, so stress relief, Brian, that's a good one for heart. There's not going to be a lot of wrong answers, but the one thing that the reason why the CEOs tell you they do is because they have figured out that there is a different mind and body connection. So if your body is in peak condition, if your body is functioning correctly, it's much easier for your mind to work the same way. It's also a way of eliminating stress and aggression out of your body too, as well, because you're using that energy source as a method of fuel. For me, that's a lot of what it is. I mean, I eat decently healthy, I guess. But at the same time, I go to the gym so I can eat anything I want, but also for the stress relief. So if it weren't for the other 2 reasons, I would still go to the gym for that very reason. It is my time. It's on my calendar. It is more important than any doctor's appointment has ever been to me as far as maintaining that. Now, I'm not saying I don't skip the gym once in a while if I, again, have some other critical thing going on. And I generally don't make it up later, because I find that if I do that, then I will tell myself the next time, oh, I'll make it up later. Well, no, I skip it if I have to skip it, but I resume my next session on the time when I should.
So I have to figure this one out, because I've never been to exercise. I've never been in that stuff. So this is the one that of the whole list of 7, this is the one that hit me the most. And so for an example of the mind-body connection, they talked about, okay, so you're at work, you're at lunch, and you eat the wrong food. So you eat a heavy lunch. And so what does eating that heavy lunch do? It makes you sleepy and tired, and something that's hard to recover for all afternoon. And so, so consider, exercise, and your body deals with food and stuff a whole lot better and much more efficiently. But just think of the connection. The wrong choice in food makes it very difficult for so the mind and the body connection too there is, because the people who exercise a lot more efficient, consistently, tend to make better decisions with other kind of things. So it also changes the way you make decisions throughout your day.
Discipline.
You're not, you're not going to find a somebody who's like a runner or something who's going to tell you that they eat horribly. You get enough exercise, filling orders, yeah. So hey, Alabama, that's pretty, if walking the dogs somewhere, and that's also so walking is the one thing I've been doing, been tracking, making myself. I got to where I wasn't wearing a watch again, but now I've started making myself so I've got a daily goal with steps. Been walking around our neighborhood. I guess I'm gonna have to look into joining the gym down the street. I drive by the thing. There's lots of people there every day. So, all right. So the next one, here's the one I've talked about a lot, and I'm not 100% at it. I'm probably 50% at it. Write your goals down. It's not good enough to have goals. You've got to write them down. You've got to be able to see them. Whenever you write something down and physically commit to it, your mind treats it much different. And that's the way, the sugar thing, salt and sugar, if you want to. So your body's got to have salt, Gregor. That's the one thing. I'm on keto and I lose a lot of salt, so I have to add salt back. And the stuff that I don't like to do. But the sugar, 100% agree with you. Sugar, it's pretty much poison to your body.
Yeah, if you're eating processed foods, you're getting way too much salt. But if you're not eating processed foods, you'll probably have to add some back.
Yep. Yeah. And so writing down, when you write down a goal, it becomes much more real. Chances are, if you will go through the process of writing it down, you're actually going to make steps and stuff to a lot of people will tell you, man, I make daily plans and I do these kind of things. Daily plans only get you so far. You've got to know where you're going. It would be like I'm on a trip to see Dave in California from Alabama. That's my goal. But if I'm only doing daily plans, how do I aim to get there? So I could be in Topeka, Kansas one day and somewhere in South Dakota the next, nowhere on the right path down to see Dave in LA. And so that's why the goal setting process is extremely important for commitment. So they gave this example. I'd never heard this one before. Jump live while you're at his Zaxby's drive-thru. Resale King, you're a young man, so you could probably take it a little. Although I know where you live, and I don't know what kind of choices you got there, son. Resale King, I don't know if you're aware or not, but I grew up in Kinston, North Carolina, so I know your neck of the woods. I lived the first 18 years of my life in Kinston, North Carolina, on the Goldsboro side. Went to school in LaGrange for middle school. So yeah, stay in line at Zaxby's. So they tracked a 1976 Harvard class they tracked. And so the study was of all the graduating class from 1976. And in 10 years later, they came back and did a survey about goals. They wanted to know what percentage of this graduating, this is Harvard now. These are supposedly the best of the best, right? Hardly ever a Resale King. I haven't been to Kinston, and well, Joni's been there a couple times, so it's been in at least the last 32 years. It's probably been 8 years since I've been back. So in the chat, put some guesses. What percentage of people from the Harvard graduating class from 1976 do you think wrote down their goals? What percentage? And I know what the chat's a little behind because StreamYard's a little crazy, so I'll wait just a second. Either one of you two got a guess of what percentage of Harvard graduates wrote their goals down?
I'd say it's a high. Higher percentage. Definitely much higher than the. I
think it's lower.
No.
Like 5%.
Wow.
Lower, right? I was gonna say 2.
The number is 3%, folks. 3%. Jennifer, did I tell you that on the phone? Jennifer got it right.
Jennifer.
I don't remember talking to her about this, but
hey, Jennifer, why don't you come on here and talk to us?
Maybe I did. So and show everybody your Southern New York accent. Right.
I promise I won't bite too hard.
3%, folks. Okay, so did it make a difference? So Jennifer cheated. The 3%. So let's tell you a story about the 3%. They took the amount of money, the wages from the 97% and compared them to the 3%. Would it be a shock for me to tell you that the 3% of people earned more than 10 times of the 97% combined? That's the power of writing down.
Yep.
I mean, understand how important this is. It's not just they made a couple dollars more. 3% of the people made more than 10 times the amount of everybody else combined. So that's how important writing your goals down is. So let's see. It's amazing that some of these, as I go through them, I actually did some of them, and I'm a big proponent of one. So the next one, when I heard this one, I'm like, I knew I was right. I knew it. Okay, so one of the things I harp on people a lot is you got to have mentors. You got to have a group of people around you. You know, on average, they have 6 to 7 mentors, and they constantly have people in their microcosm of above, below, and even, just like I've always talked about. And you know, a lot of people go, but if somebody's highly successful, you know, what can someone who has not reached that level, what can they bring? It's amazing if you get stuck in a rut, you know, someone, they don't have the blinders on and they go, well, why don't we do it this way? Solving problems, you know, helping you even further your understanding of something by explaining it back, you know, having the mentor above you that you can talk to, that can help you through problems, that can show you, the typical mentor you think of, you know, I did it this way, here we go. But it's having a group of mentors, because when everybody thinks of mentors, they think, oh, what's that, somebody above me? But you know, there are different kinds of mentors in life. And so the one thing that they say, paying it forward to, because in the active act of having mentors, you are a mentor. And so, you know, most people miss that part. And so the act of paying it forward is extraordinarily rewarding. Almost every one of them said that and cited that as the reason why they like pouring their information back into others and giving and receiving. So one of the most people that's most influential, imagine this, that I can reach and find something with Alabama anywhere. Y'all know I graduated from Alabama. I'm a huge football fan. I follow basketball right now because we're winning, even though we lost this weekend. It's Coach Saban. He tells you, he talks about this. He is a leader of young men that they ask him, you know, Coach, how much longer are you going to do this? You're 70 years old right now. And he says, you know, when he stops having fun, when he stops being effective in training young men, these young men, helping mold them to be the men that they become. He said that is of coaching football. He loves winning. He absolutely loves winning, but he loves, you know, there's a reason why, you know, these players come back. There's 3 or 4 that have been hired onto this staff that are former players that are over the off season. He loves pouring his heart and soul into these young men. So, you know, he's also very, very charitable, and through his foundation, Nick Saban Kids, you know, he has a lot of opportunity for people. And so he likes being in that position to where he can give of himself and he can give of the excess that he has. So never miss that as you're going through this. And most people don't. Whenever you're at a meetup, at a rally, and you meet people in person, they are more than pleased to tell you what they do, how they do it. They don't have secrets. And you can learn so much. So, you know, take the time, you know, you don't know how much you can mean to someone else, and it will go both ways. You will get as much as you give. So that's mentors. I wish Steve was on the show because I want to throw him on the bus right now. Because he needs to hear this more than anybody that I know right now. So Harlan says smash like button. So take less than a second, hit the like button. A lot of people can benefit from this. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I've studied, and I'm trying to make Sunday nights where I read and kind of helps me understand what I've read and what I've listened to by explaining it again. Reselling King, I'm thinking very seriously about going to Cincinnati. It's a 5.5 hour drive from here. The wife wants to do it, so we'll probably go up a day early. Jennifer actually lives over towards your area, and she's been following you. And she's so much like, we need to go. I'm like, all right, we can go. We've hung out. My wife and I've hung out with Jennifer and her husband. Getting Neil a drink from Miller Lights. That'll be a hoot. So the positive self-talk, Steve. The one thing CEOs and leaders, I'm glad you're in the chat. You've got to build yourself up. You cannot talk to all of these CEOs. That was one of the things. You can't talk shit to yourself because you're your biggest cheerleader, and you understand that you're going to take a lot of flack from the world, and you can't internalize it because you have to be positive, and you know what you know, and you're improving. Everybody has shortcomings, but you can't continue to stay down on yourself. I think that one thing that'll help you turn around, Steve, is if you fix this one and understand that everything you say to yourself that you are, you become. And so if you're more positive with yourself and not self-deprecating, you'll be amazed of, I'm not this, I'm a work in progress. I'm doing, turn it around to be a positive and understand, who we got here?
Oh my.
What's up?
So
Harlan.
How are y'all?
that's Harry Potter. Sorry.
I can't see the screen anymore.
If
I
you
had
finish,
one chance. I took it.
you finish watching her make cookies and you're ready to go.
Keep sending me videos.
It's in positive. They're almost sold out. Get your tickets now. All right, I'll do it after the show. Jennifer, get tickets. We'll go ahead and go. So be positive with yourself. Build yourself up, because you need an inner strength to deal with the world and the negativity and everything that you're going to go through every single day. Life is hard. Running a business is hard. We are actually running businesses that we are a lot of times the sole employee. Steve, you're blessed with a wonderful wife that is helping you and is good. And so you need to be as strong as she is. She doesn't talk down to herself like you do. So, understand that it's a mindset, folks. If you are talking down about yourself in your own head, it's hard to be positive about anything else as well. You can't have a positive outlook, a positive understanding, all these things of where you're setting goals and, getting your mind right and, early morning routine, all these things, you've got to come from a positive place, because if it's negative, you can't do this. So I thought that one was extremely important. So I'm glad you're here for that, because I've hung out with you for 4, 5, 6, whatever years it is, man. I think the world of you. And so the next one goes right along with it. The next one is, they don't worry about failure. Failure does not exist to these folks.
No.
Failure to successful people, failure is just the next stepping stone.
Just an obstacle.
Who was someone heard a quote the other day that said that success is 99% failure. Success is 99% failure. Think about that, and you really you really understand that
It was the guy. It was the Mr. Honda, the guy who started Honda. I wrote it down here in my notes. So the funny thing is, I'm sitting here when I was listening to this, and they were talking about success and never giving up and success. I'm sitting here thinking, man, they ought to mention Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan said some things that really, really stuck with me. And I've seen, he said, "Do you realize how many winning shots I've missed?
Yeah.
People only remember the ones that I made." And he said, "I've missed more than I've ever made, but I keep taking them." And just as soon as I thought that in my mind, they started talking about Michael Jordan. So I'm like, that's kind of so understand that failure doesn't happen until you quit. And that was their last one. Never stop. Outlast your competitors. It is not over until you say it's over. You know, everything. If I thought reselling, if I still did everything like I did when I first started, you know, it would be, you got to keep changing. You got to constantly keep fighting. You got to constantly keep pushing through. It's not over until I retire and until I say I'm done. And that's why these people win. You know, they understand the success part. It goes right hand in hand with outlast your competition. Never ever quit. You know, make them force you out. So Victoria says successful people fail a lot, and that's why they're so successful. They fail until they succeed. They never give up. I couldn't have said that any better. That is 100% the truth. And you don't learn. So you learn if you do stuff. I can remember way more of the bad buys than I can ever learn the good ones, and there are lots of good ones. I called Harlan today to tell him about one. I bought a freaking security system for $3. We were at a church sale this weekend. I'm like, man, I'm gonna run that through the auction. It's got cameras and everything. That's gonna be great. I looked it up. It was $3. I looked it up on eBay. The hard drive thing sells for, the main unit sells for almost $90. The remote for that thing sells for $30. Each one of those cameras, there are 4 of them, sells for $40. The cables sell for $20, and there are 4 sets of long cables. That was a $3 set. That's if I've given up on yard sales and decided it's too cold and there's too much trouble and we never find any and we have bad ones and the first couple of yard sales weren't that great today, let's just pack it in, go to all of them. You know, continue to go.
And the big thing about that sale was that this church has this every year. People line up an hour and a half before the doors open. I mean, it's a big one. So we went to 4, 5, 6 other.
All of the other ones before we got there.
We got there at 9:30.
9:30 or right at 10. We were an hour and a half, 2 hours after they opened.
First thing he found was that was one of the things he found. That thing had been sitting on the floor.
The first thing I found, a Brother laser printer for $3. A Brother laser printer for $3.
And I bet 500 people had been through that place. You got to go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you spent what, 70, 67? Okay.
I took stuff back so frequently to the lady that they knew my hold number.
Were you wearing that shirt?
No, I was not wearing the policy. They would remember that for sure.
They might remember that.
This is a yard sale find too. It's awesome, man. But it's so, Brian, I get that, but the one thing I would tell you is that you're not as old as I am, but you're catching me faster than you like to believe. The failures become less often. You also have become the older you get, you should be so much better at dealing with them and understanding and processing through them much faster. You know, something that happens in your 20s, you know, can derail someone, and you know they can't see the hope that you know
through your experience of fighting these battles and understanding that things are not always going to go your way. So it's different at our age, but it's also, man, I've had so many screw ups since now. I'm a professional at correcting and adjusting and carrying on. We know, Carol, you're old.
She's not old.
So that was the 7 characteristics. When I listen to those, and I'm driving down the road in the truck trying to type these into the phone. I listen to it again. It's I just thought, man, it was impactful for me to hear and just to understand and think through it. So I wanted to bring this to Sunday night. So this is what Sunday night is for first hour. I'll answer reselling questions or talk about whatever you want to from here on out. But I just want to, where can I be impactful to people? I don't think any other resellers will talk about this kind of stuff and what it takes to get you ready to do. I mean, I could tell you what to buy. I can tell you to go buy every brother printer you see, because that $3 brother printer is going to sell for $170 on Amazon. I can tell you that. But if you've given up because you've had a little struggle, or you're struggling with your health because you don't have a morning routine, you're not exercising correctly, to get you to a place where you're out there, where we were, was it this weekend? Oh, it was a driveway. Harlan and I were going over a couple of these driveways this weekend at these yard sales. These driveways were like this. They were like straight up. They were the driveways. At the bottom of the driveway, we go, man, this is a nope. I can never live with this driveway. By the time you get to the top of them, I think I made the comment, Harlan, I'm like, if I had not dropped some of this weight already and quit eating sugar, my ankles would be dying right now. And didn't even feel it. I can't tell you. Take care of yourselves. I feel so much better. But the 18 I've lost now, and looking forward to the other 22 going away. Oh yeah, it's yard sale season. I even had the camera on, so I'll make a video about that.
There was one driveway that was fairly steep. They brought the yard sale to the street.
Yeah,
You come up on it. They had it all lined up down the.
Yeah, we both bought stuff there. We did good there.
I bought barbed wire.
So what's the one thing I talk about over and over? If you don't know what it is, look it up. Look at this. I'd never seen this before.
If he finds something that he's looking for, this is going to be awesome.
This will be, yeah. Found it.
Holy cow, we found it. Oh my gosh.
That was innocently sitting on the table. $5. They had 3 cans. I don't know what RP 342 heavy formula is.
What you do now?
But I'm walking around with a computer and I typed it in and I went, holy crap. 3 cans sells for $46 plus 16 shipping. Hey buddy, would you take 10 for all 3 cans? Yep.
That's funny.
Evidently, it's some kind of protective wax you spray on the underside of your car to protect it from rust. He said he bought too many. Brian, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. A1C at our age is a struggle. So that was another reason why I'm at a 5'7". I'm not going to be a diabetic like my grandfather before me. I will. If I don't have
10 was perfect. Perfect 10, then that's not. That's not.
Yeah.
I got up to a 6.6. Is that not good?
nah.
Dang it.
But that was at that yard sale. That was on the end of that they walked down because their heel was so. I think you picked up a spool of barbed wire. He came off of that too.
Yeah, he had it for 20 and I got it for 10.
So it's you got to take care of yourself to get if you don't take care of yourself, you got to stay in the game. You got to. I feel tons better. Imagine that my phone now goes off and tells me I moved the sleep time down, so it tells me, hey, get 45 minutes. you need to be winding it down and getting ready for bed. I thought that was a gimmick for a while until I wanted to try to start getting up early. And now it's screaming at me, yo, dummy. To accomplish the things you want to accomplish, you need to start winding it down, because if you're going to get your butt up at 6 o'clock, you need to be in bed by 10:30. You need to be going, on your way to lights out at 10:30. So, incorporate these 7 things. What I think they all do, every one of them, no, but understand. If you look at all of them, they're kind of connected. Each one of those 7 things, as you go through, they are connected, and a lot of in control of your own mind and body. A lot of it is the mental game. You've got to be mentally strong, and in order to be mentally strong, you got to be physically strong. A lot of those 7 just go together, and so it's important, because the one thing that normal people will sit here and go, I can't believe you tell people what you do, and you tell them what you find. Oh my God, how are you? Man, we live in a large world that is a huge consumer. There's no way one person could buy it all.
No.
And so I want, for as much as I want my success, I want each one of you guys to be successful. Because to me, that's the definition of winning, is that everybody wins and gets their slice of the pie. Everybody, does what it takes to earn their keep. Man, that's when it's amazing. Whenever, the more it can be, because it's hard it's hard to have a positive self-image and a positive everything if you're concentrating on hate on somebody else, or negatively trying to think down about something else. You can't think, you know what I mean? Don't let the distractions. Understand that what's a rising tide floats all boats. Is that what it is? Is that something similar to that? Hey, Miss Amy Lee, how are you?
Hey, Amy.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's yard sale season when you find stuff like this, and for a quarter, and it says "I quit," and he's peeing on the desk on the ashtray. You can't leave that at the sale. You gotta buy it.
I hope I got that on camera, because you said, "Man, I got to have that."
Gotta have it.
You're not selling that, right?
I don't smoke, so yeah, I'm selling it.
You wanted it.
I'll probably take it to the Nashville flea market this month.
So the one thing I'll tell you, we talked about a lot this weekend, is how many times did we say we are thankful that yard sale season is back? We have forced it through and done half-day estate sales on half off and all that stuff, and done thrift stores a little bit more this winter than I like. But I'm telling you, yard sale season, cheap stuff is back. The $5 and $6 shoes we've been buying and running through the auction became $1 shoes again. Went in.
Whoop, whoop.
I didn't know that Crocs made clogs, but I got a pair that's only been worn once for $1. I'm like, $1. I picked them up trying to think there was something else. They were like, I'm like, man, these are Crocs. What the heck?
Yeah, I had run out of shoes. I don't know what those are worth. What are those worth? You know?
I don't have a clue.
How much is so new? At $1, we take them to the auction and let them fly.
How was the auction last week? I did not add it up. I had some good things sell. I didn't add it up. I don't know why I didn't. I'll find out in the morning. I had some really good sales. I remember I was pleased.
They bid really late.
Really
late this week. It did not look good. I still had 19 things that did not sell. That's the most.
Oh wow!
Ever. I had 100 lots, but I still did like 1109 or something like that.
I had 58 lots. 2 of them didn't sell, and of those 2, one of them was my brother's. So, which I don't understand why it didn't sell. It was a new cigar ashtray in a package. It sells on eBay infrequently, but it does sell. But it didn't sell up there. I was kind of.
Well, we'll take stuff to the auction, and I took a book up there that it was everything written by Shakespeare. Very nice book, about that thick. 3 or 4 inches. Took it up there 1 week, no bids. And I was like, okay. So I brought it back home for like a month and a half. I took it back up there and it sold for $15. It's like, okay. So just because it doesn't sell 1 week doesn't mean it's not going to sell. Usually I'll take something twice, and if it doesn't get a bid the second time, then I'll trash it or donate it or whatever. We should just.
But it was a very nice. We should both quit. It was a nice weekend. So we showed it at the first one. We went to so last year we went to this rummage sale at the Baptist Student Ministry building on UAH's campus. We got there at 7 or 5 till, and there were people going in. We're like, that's not us next year. We got there this time at 20 till, nobody there. I'm like, yo, Mr. Outgoing, go see if we go in. They're like, come on in. So we were the only ones in there for like 10 minutes. We met a lady who knew me from the channel, and she said, man, I was the first one there. I'm like, we were there for at least 10 minutes.
No. We were there and gone.
Yeah, no, you weren't.
We was leaving at 7, I think, or 7.
Yeah, because it was like 7:03 when we were headed to the what's his name, the guy with the storage lockers.
To get no bids, we have to pay the auction like $350. They haven't had that policy at the one we go to, but now starting February the 1st, they just started it, and it's $1.50 because it's a $5 minimum. So if you sell something for $5, they do 30%. So that's $1.50. So they're at least going to make $1.50 if it sells. So $3.50 is.
I mean,
that's
fair because they take the pictures, they make the listing, they get it up. So I mean, that's more than fair.
I'm cool with $1.50. I mean, if you sell as much as we do, and you have, like you said, you had 2, even at 19, which was stupid for me. That's what 20. That's what 40. No, 19, 20-something bucks, $30. Not bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we hit another couple of yard sales. One of them that wasn't even moving yet. We forgot to go back to that 9 o'clock one. We never made it back to the one at 9 o'clock.
Which one?
It was 9 o'clock. We went behind Kroger. We never made it back over there.
Oh yeah.
And then the one rummage sale. Most people would tell you, man, it's been going for an hour and 45 minutes. All the resellers been in there and got everything. How do they not pick up a night owl security system that had not been used for $3?
Mm-hmm. And of all the clothing that they had, I still picked out great clothing. 50 cents a piece.
So another guy I know from the channel who talks to, I run into him all the time. He's standing there looking up something, and I walk by him and start messing with his phone. He looks at me and goes, man, Bill, I'm trying to work here. I'm like, and what's your point? So I stood there talking to him. He's like, what's that scanner thing doing? I'm like, because he had not seen a scanner in action. And what program are you using? I was using Scout IQ. And he's standing there, and I'm like it'll scan this book and tell you whether it's any good or not. It was a $40 book. I'm like, I'm gonna stay here and scan some more. I ended up with like 7 books. That people have been all through these books, all through everything, but yet I still picked up 7 of them that were at least the profit was at least 7, and the rank was under $1 million for me just standing beside him.
Gotta look. Always gotta
So don't assume everybody buys everything and they have your knowledge. No. Don't assume that everybody has the curiosity that you have. That's one of the most important, other than your knowledge, one of the most important things you possess is how curious can you be? You've got a phone that will tell you what it is by Google Images. You can find out the value of something. How curious do you want to be to look up stuff?
Speaking of knowledge, Amy Lee's in the chat selling a $1,900 shirt this week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I saw that. I was impressed.
Whoa. Holy.
All right, everybody hit the thumbs up for Amy Lee.
Yeah.
But I've already hit it once. If I hit it again, does that give me 2 or does that take?
I think you got to do it twice.
Yeah, don't hit it twice. One's good enough. But it's absolutely amazing. It's, you know, how can you be successful? You know, there is some luck to it, Amy Lee, but man, so much as it's preparation and your mindset. It's amazing. If you can get right up here between the ears, it's absolutely amazing what you can do. No, it wasn't. I picked this up last year. It's just been hanging out here. I'm like, why have I not taken that inside?
Yeah, it's a little luck, but it's a lot of skill, Amy.
A lot of it's consistency. It's just putting yourself out there. How many times did we go to? So the year before last, not this past year, the year before, in what, the first week of November, we quit going to yard sales. We're like, the season's over, we're done. This year we made a concentrated effort. Even if there was 1 or 2, we went to them, and it was amazing how much stuff we picked up just going to the 1 or 2.
December 31st was that huge. Man, we bought all kind of stuff at that state sale. I bought a bunch of shovels, and you bought a bunch of tools on that garage.
But it's amazing to get it right in your mind and get focused and best practices, put in some effort. There's no reason you're up here is the only thing that stands in your way of being successful in this business, because there's nothing that's extraordinarily difficult. If it's difficult, like taxes or something, you can get somebody else is willing to do that for you. You know, it'll be for a price, but understand that if they can take that off your plate, what else? What frame of mind does that put you in? Harlan and Jennifer, both of y'all did the exact same thing this weekend. And you know what I did?
What did I do?
Didn't think twice about it, because Jared had it. Y'all both did taxes this weekend and carried on this week. And Jared sent me something to sign, and I sent it back to him. So understand that if there's something you don't like and it's holding you back, outsource it. You know, you can outsource, you can delegate the function. You just can't delegate the responsibility. You still need to follow up. You know, I still had to go and look and make sure that, you know, these were the same numbers that Jared we've been going through all year, and then sign it and be done with it.
Retired and reselling. I like that name. I like that philosophy also.
Yeah, he's got a big TikTok channel. Does a lot over there. I try to do TikTok. I don't know. I watch way more TikTok than milk and cookies.
What? Milk and cookies.
That was the last TikTok I watched.
So there's what I'm talking about. There's a woman. She's pretty.
She's an entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur. That's why you're watching it, not because she had a tight shirt on with. Anyways,
I actually watched it for the chat. The comments are outstanding.
But anyway, she did a TikTok showing the cookies she made, and she bought a pizza.
She bought a pizza, and they left all the equipment in there. So, you know, where is your mind right in this? You know, are you the person that goes, all this damn equipment in my way, what am I going to do with it? Or you do like she did, and she figured out a way to bake her cookies running through the pizza oven.
Yeah. And
now she's got all these pizza ovens that, you know, her cookies come in and come right out. And, you know, it's much faster because it's like she's made her own conveyor belt out of pizza ovens, but they're making cookies.
So she was showing cookies and showing you her cookies. It must have been really cold in this oven area.
Yeah, that's what Jody said. Jody's like, was it cold in that kitchen? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know. What are you talking about? I didn't notice.
Anyway, she made this video, and then she put a link to her store. She said she sold so many cookies, the site went down. So she made another video talking about it and just, showing the cookies and stuff, the cookies and her cookies again. And yeah, she's selling a lot of cookies.
Cookies are the best advertisement for cookies, right?
It obviously worked.
I showed Jody the video. There's nothing gross about the video.
Guys are gross. Get out of here.
The comments on those videos are the best, by the way.
I'm single. I can look at videos like that.
I should probably
Right.
take my own advice and make YouTube videos or TikTok videos of my freeze dryer while I'm freeze drying something and then sell it, right?
Yeah.
I probably should. I spend enough money on it. And I told myself that's why I was buying it. Did I do it? I mean, I made stuff in it, but I haven't sold anything. I'm not sure why nothing's sold, but probably something to do with I didn't make a listing.
That could be it. Heard helps.
But she's taking advantage of social media, and she's, it's today's a different age. Back in the 80s and 90s, when a lot of us older folks were coming up, I watched a TikTok. It showed a lot of the 80s stuff, and there was the American Cookie Company and all those things. They've just taken those ideas. There's no malls anymore. So what do you do? If you can find a way to advertise online and take advantage of the current situation we're in. I watch a couple of guys who he was in Raleigh. They asked him to come do a food review. He got every one of their desserts, all these different cakes, and they had like 47 different desserts. This is a restaurant that just makes desserts. When was that was never a thing to the last few years. Somebody who every one of the lowest one he rated was like a 7. They went from a 7 to most of them are in the 8s and 9s. Incredible baker. They said they were struggling and they needed some help. They asked him would he come try them, and he did. And Carol, you just said a joke. I told you I showed the video to Joni. What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't do anything behind anybody's back. Reselling. That restaurant was in Raleigh. He lives in Charlotte. The TikToker lives in Charlotte. He's probably 38, 40, a black guy. He was in New York a few weeks ago. Can't think of his name. I see him like every day, every time I'm on TikTok. But I just like that he's very. I like watching people that are very respectful, and they tell you what it is. He's got a really good personality. Can someone shut Jacob up? We're getting a headache.
He won't stop. He just won't stop.
Keep going.
I will say I finally did one thing that I've been telling myself to do and have been telling other people about, and that's that you could directly connect eBay payments or eBay, in other words, your eBay transactions on the seller side to QuickBooks Online. I finally did that today. I actually right about when the show was starting, so that's what I was doing before I got on.
Yeah, they offer that service. I guess about a year and a half ago.
No, it was end of the year, almost at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was in the winter update or something, whatever it was called, the fall update. It was just super recently. I think that was one of the reasons why the what's the Excel spreadsheet guys decided not to
Easy Auction Tracker.
Yeah, decided not to go through with their software again for the year, just because there were other options out there now.
Yeah.
And then if those don't do it, there's Reseller Genies. There's a discount coupon link down below.
Yeah, if you don't already have QuickBooks, no, don't sign up for QuickBooks just for that reason. Go do the other easy one. But I already use QuickBooks for everything, all my different companies, so might as well have it automatically import.
No, 100%.
And I did talk to an accountant day before yesterday, so I did that too. So I feel accomplished. Filed an extension, so there we go.
So did you solve? Is that somebody you're going to use from now on, or is it?
Yes, I believe so. That's we got our memorandum signed, and I just got to get her a check tomorrow. So get her started, and I'm confident that she'll take over and be able to handle all my craziness.
And Rachel King, that's perfectly fine, man. If you enjoy that, I just don't have any desire. I outsource it because I'm an S corp. That also adds payroll and everything else to it for me. And I just didn't want to. I'm sure I could do it all, but I'm just not great at keeping up with records and stuff. You know, to have it done every month is, you know, that's that time I save. I can make that money back. I don't.
Yeah, but Scott, isn't your primary probably the same as mine? I need that accountability.
A lot
not
of
get
it.
behind. Yeah, so it's me.
I would be behind something terrible. It gets awful.
Yep.
I lose a week. I would lose a week every March trying to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And
instead of doing 30 minutes here or 15 minutes here or there. Yeah. I definitely am in the same boat. But next Sunday I'll give you an update on how it does in bringing the transactions in. Right now it's still telling me that it's waiting to bring them all in. It must be my overwhelming number of transactions. Yeah, right.
Well, it waits on eBay and their antiquated stuff to send it over. Anything doing for that takes forever.
Are you just doing? Is it the single? So you're just doing eBay, or are you doing Amazon and?
So this connector does not work with anything other than just eBay payments. It's eBay payments goes directly into QuickBooks.
Gotcha.
There's no connector for QuickBooks. No free connector.
No, I know.
To Amazon to Seller Central, but there are a few others, the paid ones out there.
Yeah, I played with it a little bit.
Which one? Asked, how's Amazon going? Amazon is fine. The more I listed, put stuff on, I have not noticed a slowdown at all. It's actually been. I've sold a lot of stuff. I've got 38, 39 to ship tomorrow. Something dumb. And I have sent stuff in and 2 shipments last week, and I've still got this much to send in.
Yeah.
37 right now. It's going to be 39 because I have 2 pending. And
I think wasn't it that A2X somebody was referencing that previously was one of the integrations that works, but it's a paid integration. I think somebody had mentioned it either on the morning show or.
Scott here saying it's free.
I have 6 to ship for 6 for eBay.
One SaaS. Thank you, Scott. I will check that one out.
Yeah, he did. He swooped right in there and stole your thunder, Amy. What the hell?
See how now he doubles back to us, but he told her about it. Yeah, right.
Double back
So I've seen a lot of people still complaining that eBay is slow for them right now. Understand eBay. Are you doing everything possible on eBay? Are you taking advantage of your systems? Are you promoting? Are you restarting your promotions? Are your listings fairly active? I mean, if they're over 120 days old, chances are, I don't believe unless you're my buddy John who counts on Google search, you're much better off restarting the listing to take advantage of eBay search. Unless you're one of these that sell some of this weird stuff that comes from Google, which is so rare on eBay. I sell anything from a Google search that I benefit from restarting it. What is your product mix? Are you selling different things? Let's see what have I sold. So I have Black & Decker Space Maker Heat Guard. some better being clean face coffee cleanser, some Maidenform 3X. Thank you, lady. A Sony CD player. You know, how many times
Just throw that wherever you want.
Sony sales? How many times I got that? And then some Chanel women's body oil and a Microsoft keyboard.
Body oil and a keyboard.
Scott Z, what was the name of that connector? I see several different ones that come in under the result of it, but I don't see which one would be. I see WooCommerce and some different ones, but I don't see one that specifically says Amazon. So I'm curious.
Oh, don't open that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You
know they make knives. You don't have to gnaw on it like some animal.
I don't have a knife, or I would, or a key.
And so Amazon, I had an item during the show. I was right before the show. I had a cancellation on Amazon, which that if the customer cancels, you know, they mark it and doesn't count against you. I relisted the item before the show, and it's one of the 2 pending items. So if you've got the right items, you know, I understand eBay is slow. Are you selling on multiple platforms? You know, how many more customers and Amazon's more difficult. I understand that, but they're also with the level of difficulty grows, the opportunity grows immensely. And so, but I don't have the right stuff. I mean, I've got used stuff that's selling that I've got to ship out tomorrow too. I've got new stuff and used stuff. Hell, I put one in the video. I think I put that in the video. The Duncan Yo-Yo, and Amazon told me to reduce the price on that. Thanks, Amazon. I didn't listen to you. Yeah, I've got a DVD player and a Blu-ray player. I got to ship out. Yeah. What fun! I'll probably ship tonight. But it's the marketplace connector by Intuit and eBay connector by Intuit is what he
Found
said.
it. Yeah. I should have looked, I guess, by that.
You just noticed Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man.
Whoa.
Open up the door. I got the stuff. Dave's not here.
So I get it. If that's your system and that's what, so I have certain items I don't do a lot of those things either. I listed one item that I'm the only person. I listed at a higher price. I'm the only person on eBay or Amazon that has this item. The Amazon listing is messed up, even though I sold it over there and I'm gonna have to cancel it tomorrow. So I listed on my eBay, and I listed them a couple dollars higher than the last one that sold last week. I did not promote that one. I'm not doing anything with that one. It's just sitting there. Somebody will buy that one. So
Good idea.
you have to have your systems and your processes and what you're comfortable with and your tried and true method. You know, not everybody is that's how my buddy Dusty was. You know, he was not everybody is that personality that Eric and Jason still are going to try everything in their power to figure out how to put themselves on the bleeding edge of eBay to sell. Yeah, Risa King, I'm jealous of your area. Jennifer's like, you got to at least watch this video so you can see. He built all that. I'm like, I look around in here and it looks like a bomb went off in this. It looks right now way better than it's looked in a long time because I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff this winter. But yeah, I need some. If I had your organization, I would probably be president.
Scott says it's not going to work if you have an old quarterback. You need a newer quarterback. Oh, QB.
I don't watch a lot of resellers, but Jennifer told me I had to watch that one.
All right, I'll test it out. I'll see how it does.
She's like, he's in North Carolina too. I think he's in the Air Force, maybe near Goldsboro. I mean, he's a Seymour Johnson if he's in Goldsboro. Seymour Johnson. So this is how old I am. When I was growing up, Seymour Johnson was the B-52 base. We would go to. They had the open house or whatever, and you can go and carry on and look all around the B-52s. They had all kinds of other planes too, but when you're a teen to preteen and you see a plane that's that freaking big, and they fly so slow, you're like, I always wonder, why does that not fall out of the sky?
Seymour Johnson.
Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Yeah.
That was named by a bunch of guys sitting at a bar one night. They had like 10 drinks. Let's name it Seymour Johnson.
Yeah.
That's actually the name of the
wrong, right?
Air Force Base in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's probably 29, 30 miles from Kinston where I grew up, but I lived on that side. So if you got to, my middle school was in LaGrange, which is about halfway. So we had like an hour and 20-minute bus ride just to get to middle school. Yeah, it's two names. It's somebody Seymour and a somebody Johnson.
Somebody's Johnson.
Yeah, if they were thinking, they'd have turned those around.
Yeah. Well,
don't sound good the other way around, though.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely. So has anybody got any questions for us tonight? Hey. Avionics system for the F-15 fighters. So I live by an airport, and they actually retrofit Blackhawks and B-22 Ospreys. So that was lovely. Friday afternoon in here trying to hear my own self think when they're out there messing with an Osprey. The whole damn building is shaking and carrying on. That, don't get me wrong, I don't care. That's my favorite plane ever. So I love to sit out here and watch them carry on. But yeah, that thing, it shakes the building and it's so loud.
And they had a Black Hawk coming into your airport the other day, fell straight out of the sky.
Oh my.
About 5 miles from here, it crashed and killed the two pilots, unfortunately.
I mean, it went straight down. That's the thing about an airplane. They break. Hope you might be able to glide it in, but helicopter.
So they retrofit those Ospreys too. I don't know what they do with them, but they come in on a Monday, and by Wednesday they've pulled them into the building. They don't have props, and then you see them come out the next week and they're putting props on them. The 7 things. Can I say it again? Yes, ma'am. All right. A morning routine: get up early, read almost every day, exercise consistently, write down your goals, have mentors, positive self-talk. Don't worry about failure; it doesn't exist, and outlast your competition. Never stop.
James, your question about what app? I'm not sure which app Scott uses, but both Android and iPhone both have digital well-being built into their operating system. You just go into your settings and you can have both iPhone or Android do it natively.
Yeah, mine tells me when to go to bed and get up.
Yeah, it's built into the Apple. I think it's under it's in the health, I think.
Should probably listen to it. I ignore it a lot.
So you can set up a schedule So if I go to bed at 10:30, I don't have an alarm, but it thinks I'll wake up. It doesn't know that Franklin ain't no one hell he's let me sleep till 7.
At 3.
Franklin's gonna have me up at 6, so I don't need an alarm clock.
You'll be up before that tomorrow, won't you? Or close to it.
Yeah, I'll give it 5:30 tomorrow. I sold some more flexies. Hot dog. I'm gonna be through these 4,000 pairs in 4 or 5 years. Went in.
Big money.
That was me, Carol, selling some spreading love to the big girls. 3X flexies from Maidenform. I've sold 4 pairs today, so that's winning. They are. I think this was. Never mind. This was a 2X.
Oh. We got like 6,987 more to go. How many of those left? I'm just playing.
I've got at least of the 2Xs. I think I've only got 300 of those. I think that's another box of them up there. Yeah, those are 2Xs, but those are white. Those are white ones.
Dave's house is on fire.
Yes, it is.
The roof is on.
So I've also done better with these guys again. Since I had decided that the answer was to carry the other phone, but I got so tired of having 2 phones again. I remember how much I hate having 2 phones when it was so much easier to carry this thing around. Actually, and this one it needs a new battery. So I actually bought an e-yo-yo.
Did you get the finger one or no? Oh, come on.
I figured I would break out. I just got the one that comes with the sleeve, the rubber sleeve. So when I drop it, it'll just bounce.
Oh, you won't break it.
Oh,
There's nobody rougher on those kind of things than I am that I know of.
The garage is hard.
The ring finger scanner. It's where it is.
So the one thing I would tell you is if you're going to use one, buy yourself one of these little cheap things on. It came off. I lost a little back on it. But you always know if it's on your belt or you can put the base of it in your pocket so it doesn't go anywhere. It's amazing how much easier.
Plus, you don't drop it or lose it.
Yeah, they make the metal one. I've got the metal one. I think it's in the. They make this one. I've got this one too, but it makes too much racket. But I'm probably gonna have to use it now that the little belt clip is gone.
They make one that hangs around your neck and then has a rolly comes off on a rolly as well.
No, it's not a rotary phone, but the right colors, those things sell very well. What's at the auction? The red one sells better than any of the rest of them for some reason. But this one is a KDC 200 by Comtac, but they're too expensive. Because these things are. When I bought it, it was like 42, but I think they're closer to 150 now. Let's see. Because they do a lot more storage and mess that we don't need.
2 OG razors, pink and silver.
Here's one. Somebody's got them for $100 and he sold 63. 75. Here's a new battery. Maybe I should order a battery for the other one. Yes, I lost the clip. I think this is supposed to go on your shirt pocket or somewhere. I don't think it's supposed to go on your belt like I was using it because it's real flimsy and it's real lightweight. It's not like this one that's made to hold the every key the janitor ever owned from like 30 years. That's what that reminds me of, as you see him on school janitor back in the day. And so that's all the questions we get.
All right.
What the hell?
What the?
Y'all are not even trying. What the hell?
Going through somebody's house? What the hell was that?
The
It's gotta be
tracks are behind you.
Jacob. It's gotta be Jacob.
He's all that wanted.
The train.
Yeah.
I've been to Dave's house. I've been to Dave's house. There's no train tracks.
No train has got to be this one.
Yeah.
So I've got half of the other one cleaned out, Carol. I'll be down to 2, and I've got till the 15th, so I'll be down to 2 storage buildings. This one is much nicer. I spent some time yesterday and this morning straightening up, and everything that's on the table now is either going to Van Massey or I'm doing FBA shipments tomorrow. The next 3 days will be going.
Shipping you pillows?
Man, Steve, just throw that shit away. I have noticed an increase in Amazon returns. That's the one, Steve. I don't know if it's been with you or not, but I've gotten a lot of Amazon returns. So why do we think eBay is so slow? There are too many people selling used clothes. That would be my guess. And the other thing too is there are a lot of people that don't use the system correctly and think, and don't price correctly one way or the other, too high, too low.
I don't think eBay's slow. I forgot about it for a while, and then I listed some stuff, and it sold.
And that's the other thing. The most effective thing you can do for eBay is list consistently.
Yeah.
And if you're not listing, then at least make a change in your current listings. At least open them and change 1 or 2 words. At least 1 word in the title and at least 1 word in the description, and change the price by a penny. Do something. If you're not.
The inventory list works. That definitely keeps that algorithm going.
Yep.
I think a lot of people list stuff also that the sell-through rate is just it's not good, because I mean I had an item the other day. I looked it up and I looked at the solds. There was about 20 solds, and the average price was about $20. But when I went and looked at how many were listed, there was about 300 or 400 listed. So that means only 20 or so has sold in the past 3 months. So did I list that item? No. Not wasting my time.
I would tell y'all Phoebe come and say hello, but she don't care about nobody but me.
No.
Ain't that right, buddy? Ain't that right?
She'll bark at you.
Say you're daddy's girl and nobody else. So Amy Lee has, I think Amy Lee's answer is one that a lot of people discount, and I think it's more to do than anything else. She says the competition there is more than ever. eBay isn't the only option anymore.
Right.
That's why I said earlier, are you selling on more than one platform? If you are a clothes seller and not selling on Poshmark, what in the hell are you doing? If you sell a lot of used shoes and are not on what the hell is it? Depop? I mean, what are these? I don't know the name of some of these, but if you're not on these, if you're not on some of these alternate platforms, because the one thing eBay has done is they have not kept up with the times, and they have allowed these. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. You know, slowly. Yeah, Phoebe's gone. She starts coming out here about 8 o'clock and about every 15, 20 minutes until I finally go to bed. That's what she's coming to tell me, that she's ready to go to bed for the night, and I'm keeping her awake. Grail. There's so many of them that I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
So Thelma, Harlan has a friend who wanted him to come just talk to her daughter about reselling, and she was on all these. What platforms was she on?
Depop was one of them. I'm trying to think what the other.
But this is somebody in her early 20s, and
she didn't even sell on eBay. Never been to eBay. Wasn't even an option. Hold on, let me see if I can remember.
So I think that's a lot of it is as of the things that a lot of people are trying to sell. You know, the customer base is getting splintered, and they're not. If you're trying to sell stuff that you think, hey, young people will like this, and then you're wondering why young people are not buying it on eBay, it's because young people aren't on eBay. You know, you gotta understand the audience to eBay is an older audience.
I think more people are cross listing too now between 3, 4, 5 sites.
And it would, you know, with all these listing programs, you know, makes it so much easier. Oh, that's stuff, Thelma. That's huge. Depop doesn't require checking accounts or anything. Easier because I bet my son can't write a check. I bet Jacob Zilke can't write a check. If I gave him the checkbook and told him to go write a check, I bet he couldn't do it. And we're talking about a rocket scientist. I'm not giving this to some ordinary person. We're talking about here, rocket scientists, go write a check. Yeah, Scott. See, I can't remember last time I wrote a check. Mr. Sadie said his sons can ask for checks.
Oh, she sells on Poshmark and Depop.
Poshmark and Depop.
eBay wasn't even an option. When's the last time you've heard an eBay commercial?
Yeah,
I've heard eBay Motors.
Right. Motors, yeah. Me too.
Haven't heard eBay.
So 61% of eBay's audience is 35 to 64-year-olds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, and we're not offended by it. We understand that the worst thing eBay did, Resale King, was they did not communicate well with the generations before Generation X. They never reached out. They never made any effort. They just assumed, you know, we were the first ones. Everybody loves us. They're gonna and Amazon snuck up and stole everything from all their customers. Because the biggest difference between eBay and Amazon, for the most part, you can't buy used clothes on Amazon, and Amazon fooled the world. And there's lawsuits out there now that you're gonna get your shit in 2 days. You know, eBay was way behind on that. You know, because they don't do a good job of telling you when something's going to show up for the most part. You know, I've noticed now that as I buy stuff, the app. I've left some things turned on, and the app tells me, you know, this was shipped and this was, so it does a better job than average. But you know,
yeah, Brian, I do mainly eBay and the auction.
And so if we know that the vast majority is 35 to 64-year-olds, you got to know what they're buying and what they're looking for on eBay. And so what you sell with, does what you sell match up with what eBay customers are looking for? So I haven't had any problems with eBay authentication. I've had 4 or 5 pairs of shoes go there, but nothing else. How can they decline? It's PSA graded. Is there a way to fake a PSA grade?
It's hard, but they do it. You'd have to get the cases and fake the label and stuff.
Yeah, I think Mr. Sadie, I think we discount that too. He says his brother-in-law sells so much on Facebook, will never sell on eBay. He's got like 4,000 listings on Facebook. The local game too. If you can sell local, if you're in an area that, I think that's driven a lot of audience away from the online. I mean, we sit back and look and think, oh, online's taking over. Everybody, that hybrid of local online, that's been popular for years and years. I know back when I was growing up, I remember listening in the 70s. God forbid I was in the 70s. It was a good time though. There were radio shows that people would call in and put their stuff for sale on the radio, and you could listen to the radio. And
tell me your country without telling me you're not country.
I just told you I grew up in North Carolina. What more do you want?
Jim Bob on Elm Street has got a tiller for sale this morning. It'd take $100. He'll be on his front porch all afternoon. Just come on by and pick it up.
Have you never heard those shows, Harlan?
No.
That's about what they sounded like. I 100% promise you.
I know.
You're as old as I am. Shut up.
And I'm young enough. Old enough or young enough, whatever you want to call it. I did actually hear a radio show like that when I don't remember. I was very little, but I still do remember it.
So Thrifting Brothers, they were talking about, so eBay authentication, when you sell a PSA graded card, is that card not sent directly to the customer anymore? Is it sent through eBay authentication and they're declining it, saying it's fake? Is that what you're saying? That's crazy if that's. See if he says anything.
It's called Tradia.
It depends on what part of the country you live in that you heard these radio shows.
Lovetta Run, you have not lived. Are you a city girl or a city guy? Maybe you just lived in an area. I'm telling you, I bet they still exist on AM radio. I bet they still exist.
The local one here was called Swap Shop 690. It was on an AM station.
I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I hadn't even been tested. I know I'm not crazy.
Carol, it's you have a certain amount of tables to put stuff on, and then if you have like bigger items like piece of furniture or something like that, then you can put those over a different area in where they've got places for that. But I've got 3 tables each week. There's 2 different sides, so you'll have one running. Like tomorrow we'll drop off, and all that stuff ended Thursday. People picked it up on Friday, and we fill it back up on Monday. So there's 2 sides running. I've got 3 tables on each side. And are you 3 and 3 or 3 and 2?
Tomorrow I'm 2 and a shelf.
2 and a shelf.
But the 2 tomorrow are nearly as long as the 3 next week.
Yeah,
those are 2 long tables.
So depending on the size, if you have a bunch of small stuff, you can I've been this winter as I've been pushing through my garage trying to go through stuff there's been stuff out there in tubs for 3-4 years. I have cleaned a bunch of that stuff out this winter. But
Cali girl, then that explains it right there.
What?
I've been doing 100 lots a week for a while.
She'd never heard of any of the swap shows or swap.
Oh, either way. I'm from California too.
Both y'all are California. That makes it.
Yeah.
Carol, I have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. There's still a whole bunch.
No, Reselling, we're talking about a local auction. So there is a local consignment auction here. It runs Thursday to Thursday, and we drop off. I have 2 tables in 1 week, 3 the next, and he has 3 and 3. So we drop off items every week. Then there's an auction. There's an auction running right now. It runs. It starts Thursday. I don't know what time it actually starts on Thursday.
I think an hour or so before the other stop ending.
And it's sometime 8 or 9 o'clock Thursday. It'll run in. They start closing next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah, Carol, this room is clean. Do you want to know why? Guess why?
Yeah, why?
Because you're getting an inspection and didn't want to be embarrassed.
Uh-huh.
Booyah!
Because the owner came by to check out the pad.
No, it's a management. It's a management
company. Same thing.
I can't say nothing because I still don't have a septic tank. So it's like,
Ooh.
Wait, what?
I haven't had a septic tank working here since December 22nd.
So you just go in the yard, or
I can flush the toilet once a day here. No, I paid to have Fluffy here. Fluffy's good. So it's been.
It wouldn't have mattered. They could have come in, and I bet Fluffy didn't move off the couch. You could have just said, "Oh, that's an old pillow."
Yeah,
right?
She wouldn't have moved. Didn't care. She never barks.
So anyway, they said the septic tank lines were blocked, probably with roots from the tree. It had to go through the health department. Health department said, "Yeah, we'll have the paperwork in 10 days." It was like 5 weeks. But then they finally approved it. Then they've got somebody the owner of the house finally picked somebody to do it. They've got the person, and supposedly it's supposed to be done soon.
Okay, so that's the real reason we were late to the church yard sale is I had to stop by like Plant Fitness, throw his ass out, go wash your ass. You ain't had a bath since December. That's what happened.
I got a free month rent, Carol.
Rent credit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. $16.50 for free. So
one just came out here. She just left. If I had to guess, they're all laying on top of Joni in the bed. Franklin's almost run out of craziness. He runs wide open all day, and then at night I picked him up to move him last night. He was like a wet dish rag. He didn't even move. I'm like, Well, y'all know he lives like 4 miles from his parents, so he's just been using his parents' house. But somebody normal would have been really messed up who didn't have a parents living down the street. He didn't clean up because I was coming over. I was over there a couple weeks ago, and it looked like this.
How far ahead are you now? Are you into April or May yet? How far ahead are you, Harlan?
1 week.
That's it.
That's it. Running out of stuff.
Whoa.
This weekend at the art shows, what I pick up just for Van Massey. I picked up a countertop ice maker. I picked up some kind of George Foreman I'd never seen before. I didn't know what it was, but it had the manual and everything with it. It looked nice.
Picked up a TV, quite a few things.
Hey, Thrifton Brothers is back. Did he answer my question earlier
What was your question?
about the PSA cards? He may not have been in here.
So I haven't done a lot of traveling lately, Thrifton Brothers, but it's still possible, and it's harder to do it from the road now because you don't have live listing anymore. And so the one beautiful thing about listing live is you knew where everything was going. So if they decided to send it not to the warehouse that everything else is going, you just say and delete that off. But now you're at the mercy of hit the accept and figure out where it's going. It'd be a lot more difficult to send in. You could go out and get it and bring it back. I have a van that'll hold a lot of stuff, but so it makes it different. Doesn't mean it can't be done. It makes it different. Probably some overnight trips here coming up, Carol, but not anything planned right this second.
I don't see your response anywhere about the PSA cards.
The biggest CRT I've sold is just the 13 inches. I haven't messed with them. I've sold bigger LED TVs, but actually sold I did RA on a couple that were still in their box, and I just shipped them out. These are monitors though. These were 28-inch monitors. The game has just changed. They've made it with BrickSeek and some of these other things have made it so easy for people to find things. You just got to be more of a planner to figure out where and what you're going to buy. It's not that it can't be done, but it's, if you follow what's his name, Jameson Philippi, he's still driving all over everywhere buying. I think the ROI has gone down considerably, though. You can still make money, but the ROI is not as good as it used to be. What you have is a boat anchor. a large Sony CRT. I wonder if you could sell it local and advertise it towards video game folks, because I bet there's some video game players that would love to have that big CRT. That's who bought mine. The small one that I sold.
I have a 20-inch CRT data monitor commercial with the speakers built in that they tilt around. It's like all encaged in itself.
Yeah, so I tested. I think I showed the CD player either Sunday night or last Wednesday. The Panasonic that was from the 90s that had the video card thing on it.
Yeah,
that thing actually had built-in speakers on it. I got it listed today. I listed it for I think $115. But I went to test it. I'm like, where am I gonna plug this in? I hit play and it started playing. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. There we go. It started playing some awful music, but it played. It was a CD I found in one of the other ones. It was terrible. Hits from the 50s and 60s. 50s and 60s was awful. Yeah, I bet there's a market for the CRT that big, but it's just. I remember we moved once, and I had a 36-inch one, and it took like 4 of us to pick that heavy bastard up.
Oh, monsters!
Remember having the big screen TVs that set about 4 feet out from the wall, take up half the room.
Yeah, or the console was that had the TV on one side and the radio, the turntable and the 8-track on the other.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I tried that radio that I bought this weekend. She did.
That's Sony. So the Sony one that I bought at that estate sale, it did work, but if you the little short in the power cable, so it's going to Van Mass anymore. It works fine. It's just that a strong?
I got a Steve glass, Sweetwater out.
Whoa.
Man, he's got his own. He's got his own Brave Sweetwater glass. Look at there.
What kind of concoction is that?
Aren't you supposed to be drinking that straight and no Pepsi?
Right.
That is straight. Look, I drank that much of the bottle. Look, it just poured it straight. That's not the same color, is it? Damn it.
Oh yeah, that 100% happened in our family too. That when the TV broke, it just became a TV stand. When the console TV broke, you just put the new TV on top of it. Sure enough. Yeah, that's a cool. Is it in the car already? Where'd I put my phone? Damn it.
Hey, did you go down Moore's Mill Road the other day?
No.
You know where the cemetery is right past Kroger?
Yeah.
I don't know how high the winds were through there.
Right.
There's like 15 or 20 huge trees down right there.
I didn't go that way.
I drove through there today and I was like, wow. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of storms, and we had a storm come through Friday morning. And they said after the storm comes through, we're going to have, it was a high wind warning they put us in. They said winds will be 30 to 40 with gusts to 60. And they came in at 100 miles an hour in places. It was a mess. There was power, took trees down everywhere. Still raining your way, Dave?
It's been like the mountains are packed with snow. I wonder if I can even show you that. Yeah, it's been,
we went to Dave's house and Dave's like, yeah, California's fantastic. The weather's perfect. Temperatures are great. We get out there, it rained for a day and a half.
it rained and it was like,
never rains out here.
it was like that and like high smog too. It was like shit visibility that it'd been like in years.
We come rolling in and we're like, this is terrible.
Uh-huh. Let me see.
The beach was nice though.
I don't know if you can see that, but that's like standing in my driveway, looking back at the
oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, just packed.
Wow!
Palm trees, sunshine, and snow. You won't see it
Wow.
anywhere else.
So I don't know if any of y'all watch Katie and Vicky. They're the ones that do the Las Vegas meetup in October. They've had it for the past 2 years. You know, eBay quit doing it, then they jumped in. Good Lord, people.
Why he's doing that? That's the radio I found. It's a shame that doesn't work. That screams 80s with the green.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it works fine. It just I wouldn't sell it because of the cord. You can hear it if you hit it.
Oh yeah, the cord's bad. Yeah.
No, it's not the cord. I tried too. It's the actual the radio.
Oh, the radio. Okay.
But it still works.
So they went on a cruise the other day and they liked it, and they're going on another cruise. I said, we need to have a reseller cruise. And she said, we're working on it right now. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I'm in. That'd be fun.
Yeah, check that out. That's, I don't know if you can see that. That's coming back from the beach. Like that's the 55 going to the 91 back towards my house, and it's just snow every
brought your boyfriend
Every
with
hill,
you.
mountain.
You brought your boyfriend.
Yeah, it's uncommon for here.
Is that the one that's just a one night thing in Cincinnati? Like
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing that one.
Hey, buddy.
I mean, it's 5 or 6 hours. You wouldn't even have time to talk to anybody.
I found both of them. Look.
No.
I saw you got in the trash can, boy, and drug everything outside. I appreciate that.
I gotta do my best. I can.
There's still one more Resale King. She ain't coming out here for nothing. I don't care if the world comes to an end. She ain't coming out here. She ain't leaving Joni. Yeah, right. So you're the sweetest, aren't you? Yeah, I know. Go back inside. Franklin is the best. That little joker. Everywhere I go, he goes. So I was going. I went to take a bag of trash out. I didn't think he heard me because he was out in the yard. And I turned around and I'm walking back. And here he comes, happily walking. He's prancing over the threshold. I'm like, Franklin, if you'll turn your little butt around. So that's what Dixie is. Dixie's a black hair short. She's a short hair black and tan. She's 16. She's probably called it a night already.
Oh yeah.
And she is not Franklin's biggest fan because Franklin worries the absolute piss out of her.
What are your thoughts on becoming a pawn broker? I've never thought about doing that. Did you do that, Jacob, with your coins, or were you just?
So I fell under the same regulation, but we didn't do. We never did we wouldn't sell it back to you. All sales were final, but I fell under the same industry regulations as any secondhand dealer or pawn dealer would. Some states, let's see, Tennessee, I think handled it the same as they were called pawn dealers in Tennessee, and in Florida they were called secondhand dealers.
Okay.
But yeah, we had the same reporting requirements and retention requirements.
So none of these dogs have back issues. We had Phoenix, which was Joni's favorite dog in her life. He had back surgery. I think he was 5 or 6, and his back went out again when he was 13 or 13, and was completely paralyzed and lost everything in the back. So he had to be put down for that. But that was the only one. We've had 7 dachshunds and one had back. Yeah, I think if you watch what's his name too in Chicago, he says the same thing. He does the buy and trade and everything, but he doesn't do the pawn, the loaning. Craigslist Hunter. He says just to
So he just buys at his place. He doesn't.
Yeah, and a normal shop for sale, and he'll buy stuff from you, but he won't loan you anything on it. Yeah, they got ramps. There's a ramp to the couch and a ramp to the bed. Franklin just uses it as a springboard.
Like a racetrack to the couch.
Johnny's like, you should have seen the look on his face this afternoon when he went flying up the ramp and jumped all the way over the bed and landed on the ground.
What do you mean, Scott Condon? They sell to him, or he goes and buys there, or they bring stuff to him?
I think he goes and buys there.
Yeah, he goes and buys too.
He's made videos of buying stuff.
So yeah, he does content of that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one having is he one of the ones having the reseller meetup in Cincinnati?
Yeah, it's Commonwealth, Cincinnati Picker, and
him.
Craigslist owner. Yeah.
So did y'all have a location, Jacob, where people just came to you and
Yes,
sold
we
stuff?
had. Yeah, we had retail locations, retail stores. In Florida, we had them mostly in malls. So we would set up either a kiosk or an inline store. We basically made our stores look almost like a Kay's Jewelers, but people would come in and sell to us there.
So did you keep any and resell it, or just melt it all down?
Am I on the live show?
Surely the statute of limitations.
You can tell us after the show.
No, there were so in that business everything was melted. But once I had my own business, I did retain some items. I still have some of them. I had an eBay, a separate eBay store that I would use to sell that sort of thing. And I sold some things at a local consignment, like an antique store, an antique dealer store mostly. But I had a display shelf there where they would sell it for me. I still have
Was that mainly
probably a few cases. What's up?
Was that mainly coins that you did that with, or was it jewelry too?
No, it was mostly jewelry. So most of the coins we would get close enough what we needed by selling them immediately. The coins we would sell them to at max, and we got a really good price for those. The jewelry was where we had enough margin that would make it worth our while to keep it, because in that game it was all about cash flow. So if you could flip it, if you could flip your money every probably 60 days, we would you should turn $1 every 60 days or sooner.
Okay.
Sometimes we could do it in 45.
Okay. You're back. See you, Resale King. Hey, Carol, they've got stuff for that. But most of those big ships don't move that much anyways.
Yeah, it's a riverboat. It's not like it's going to be.
Oh, you're talking about a boat. The one I thought you meant the reseller cruise they're working on. Yeah, the one on the river shouldn't be moving. Not up and down. He goes to Goodwill's, get inventory. Hat and sunglasses. You can hide the face, you can't hide the accent.
Hello. What are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be sleeping for the night? So you can wake me up first thing in the morning?
I was glad to sleep through the night with the power not going out and stuff.
So did everybody get power restored, like across from Marissa?
Say that again.
Did the folks across the street from Marissa get their power back finally?
Yeah, I think so. Some of my friends, the ones in Newmarket, they were down over a day, 28 hours or so.
I know Ben got hit in Tennessee. So
You tell everybody you're the best? You tell everybody you're the best? Since Phoebe's not around, you tell everybody you're the best? So you're a character. Tell everybody you're a character.
What up, dog? He's chilling.
Even that yawn and long tongue. What the heck, buddy?
That look.
You tell everybody you're a handsome little devil. Keep it regular. Sleep, buddy. All right, so we're at 2 hours. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Remember, hit the thumbs up on your way out. If we hadn't earned a thumbs up by now, and we've been here 2 hours, what the heck? And see you Wednesday morning. I'll try to get the video of me and Harlan yard selling. I don't think there's anything I have to cut out of this one.
Probably not.
No.
We were actually good. We were good this weekend.
That's rare.
I know, it was rare. It's probably why we found so much stuff. We were concentrating on finding stuff instead of acting like nuts.
We're just getting warmed up.
All right, roll tide, everybody.
Well, take it easy.